Bitcoin and Litecoin update. Can Bitcoin hit 46,000 by the end of the year? I believe it can, and I'm going to show you how in the end of this video. What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here. I hope everybody's having a fabulous weekend. We're going to take a look at the chart, starting with Litecoin, moving on to Bitcoin. Then the end of the video, we're going to take a look at that Bitcoin daily chart versus the gold weekly chart. If you haven't seen it, definitely stick around. Check it out. Also, don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section down below. That'll get you entered to win the free t-shirt. The drawing is tomorrow, so definitely don't forget to do that. Also, guys, if you could help the channel out, there's some affiliate links down below in the description box below the video. There's a ABRA link, Coinbase link. If you make a deposit in those, you get some free Bitcoin. There's also a Ledger link. You can get yourself a Ledger Nano or any, Ledger hard wallet. Get your crypto off the exchanges, guys. Keep it safe. Not your keys, not your crypto. Also, the Brave browser, great browser. You guys definitely need to check that out. And there's a free Discord in there. We have a free Discord community where we help each other out. We keep up on the news, help each other out with charting. I've watched people grow in there. Great. It's turned out to be a great community. You guys should definitely check it out. It's free. I don't believe in charging for stuff, so definitely check it out. And let's get on with the video and see what's going on. All right, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my view and my opinion of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or any investing in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market can be extremely volatile and risky. Also, keep in mind, it's still a speculative market. Don't put in more than you're willing to lose. And with that being said, if you're new here or you haven't already, hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand side of the screen. That'll get you subscribed to the channel as I post new videos every day. And if you tick the notification bell, that'll get you notified when I post new videos so you don't miss out on anything. Also, guys, it helps me out a lot if you smash those likes and leave a comment, please, and thank you. All right, let's look at what's going on. This is Litecoin in the daily. We were looking at this as a cup and a handle with the neckline right here at the 94 area. And my target on that one is 167, and I'm still believing we're headed up to there, and that's our next target right now. I do have another one with the neckline right here. Looking at it the same way, this is a cup coming down, and then right here a little handle. I'm not as sure about this one, but it definitely makes sense. It could be, and the target for that one's 192. And as you can see, I have a higher target up there at 239, and that's looking at this white trend line here and this yellow trend line, which is the bottom trend line from where we hit bottom. And if we look at this as a rising or ascending broadening wedge, and we do the measured move off of it, and I'll show you when we get into the 4 hour, I have a breakout area of around 145 is where I think it might be possible, and that gets us up to the $239 range, $239, $240 range, somewhere in there. So definitely a possibility, guys. Keep an eye on that. We're going to go into the daily RSI. Same thing. We're still within this channel here and this rising channel where this has been resistance. This has been support. I still believe we have another move up here, guys. It could be a little bit higher than this peak, but I definitely still believe we're moving up from here. Possibly this weekend we could have a real nice move. So let's look at the 4 hour RSI and see what that's showing us. If you guys have been following along, you'll know what these lines are. If you haven't, definitely start following the videos, guys, and you'll be able to keep up and understand what's going on. So looking at this as a falling wedge, with this being the resistance up here, this line at the bottom being the support. And we had a falling wedge within that where we broke out here, came up into a falling channel, broke out there, up into another falling channel, broke out there, up into another falling channel. Also, I have these two blue lines here. This one here, resistance. This one here was support, which we've broken twice now. And looking at that as a rising channel. We tried to get back in right here. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see it. Tried to get back in right here and got obviously got rejected. but this looks like it's forming a bull flag here. And if we go into the price action, I'm gonna kind of zoom in a little bit here. But if you look close in the price action here, excuse me, we're making lower lows on the RSI and higher lows up here in the price action. So some hidden bullish divergence, guys. And if you look, I have this little triangle drawn in here, and we're looking like a little bull flag. So definitely, if you guys are charting, keep along or following along with this, definitely put that in here. But this would be the measured move if we measured this over here from where it broke out as the flagpole, and then we put it to where we would break out, would get us up into the $120 range, 120, 121. I'm not convinced that we'll stop there, but that is my next stop target zone for going up. Now, also, as you guys know, we could break down from there, and if we did, you know, then we might break back out of this. But I'm going to zoom out a little bit and show you. Let me put this back up here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and kind of show you what else we're looking at here. All right, so if you guys watched yesterday's video, I had been watching. If you look at this thinner blue line down here, was looking at this as another ascending broadening wedge, which still is possible. But I cloned this yesterday and brought it down here. It seems that we're staying within this channel. But yeah, I do see us probably coming up most likely to this 120, 121 area, and maybe getting some more sideways action, or possibly make another bull flag here and pop up. And this is what I was talking about as my, sorry guys, I want to start out with the bearish scenario first. And as my bearish targets, they're obviously on trend lines, so they're going to move except for the 62. But we're to break down here from where we're at now. I'd be looking at getting supported around the 107 range and getting a bounce, but I don't believe that's going to happen. Like I said, I just like to take a look at both scenarios, so you know nothing comes unexpected. But if that 107 was to break, then we're looking at the $100 range, which is this. If you look over here, we had a bunch of support on this trend line here. And if that was to break, next stop would be the $90 range, which would be the bottom of this ascending broadening wedge here. So if that was to break, then obviously we're looking at these lower lows. The very worst case scenario is around this 53.31 range, and the longer this goes, the higher that goes. And that's just because that's this bottom trend line here, guys. But I do believe it's going to be a good weekend. I think we got more upward movement, so don't get all stressed out and paranoid, guys. Let's look at Bitcoin. Looking at Bitcoin on the daily here. Excuse me. We were the same thing. We were looking at this as a cup and a handle over here, and our measured move off that was 8,400, which we hit. And now what I'm looking at is right here. Same thing, a rising broadening wedge here. This yellow line being the top, this one being the bottom, from the bottom. And as you can see, it's a ascending broadening wedge. And if we took where we broke out, which would be right there, right here, that gets us up to the 96.22 range. And that's not an exact number, guys. I'm just going to round it off, say 9,600. I still see us headed there. I think we get there at least before this correction that everybody's waiting for. And also, I want to put out there that this correction is not going to be as bad as people think, in my opinion. And I'll show you that in the end, the worst case, in my opinion. Excuse me. So definitely stick around for that. But guys, I wouldn't be getting all paranoid and scared. Now, that same... I'm going to look at this here. If you remember, we were watching... Well, everybody was watching this as a bull flag right here with this yellow line as the top coming down here, and then obviously this white line. There is a wedge that I have drawn there too, but we'll look at that next. But I do want to just kind of focus on this yellow line as the top of the bull flag, and then here. And if we measure this as a flagpole from where we broke out down here, and we put that up to the top of where we broke out of that triangle, that gets us up to the 10.6. So that's my next target. If we're able to bust through this 96, then we're going to 10.6. Now, another thing I want to point out is that looking at this as a rising wedge, as you can see, we take that same flagpole if we were to break out up here, and that gets us to, well, we wouldn't break out quite up there. I'm saying if we break out around this area, but that gives me the target 11.6. So these are definitely possible, guys, before we get a correction. Like I said in the end of the video, we'll take a look at where that correction might be. But I do want to take a look now. We're going to zoom in a bit. Excuse me. We're on the daily, but I'll move into the 4 hour and we'll take a closer look at what's going on. But for now, looking at this as a rising wedge, and if we were to come up in this area and break down, and if we didn't get support here, if we broke down out of this, you know, around the $7,700 range, then we'd be looking at the top of that wedge again. I do believe this is going to move up, guys, unless we were to drop directly straight down in the next day or two. I'll keep it there. That'd be around the 7,100 range, and then worst case, down to the 66 range. So definitely keep your eyes open for that. And see, that 70 or 66 range would be, you know, if we get some sideways action here and then break out or break down from here. And like I said in the end of the video, we'll take a closer look at that. Let me go into the daily RSI. And as you can see, we were in this rising channel forever now, since way back in November. And right here we had like a bear trap and came down, and I cloned this bottom of the channel and drew it down to the bottom of this. That was before any of this happened. As you can see, it held as support. We broke back up into the channel, and now we've broken back down out of it. And what I'm looking at here is for this to hold. If this doesn't hold, then we may be having a, you know, a decent correction now. But I do believe this is going to hold, and we're going to pop back up in here. I'm looking for another touch on the top up here, with lining up with these peaks up here. That's what I'm looking at to happen. So let's look at the 4 hour. 4 hours is going to be a little bit more messy, guys. But the same thing, we had this rising channel, long-term rising channel with resistance down, or support down here, resistance up here. We had this rising wedge within there that we broke down out of and broke into a rising channel, which we've broke out of here. Looks like we attempted to touch the bottom of the channel, but we broke back in this channel here, this rising channel, and I believe this line here will probably hold as support and, you know, give us our continued move up. So don't get paranoid and scared that we're going down yet. I don't believe Bitcoin's ready to go down yet. Let's take a look at the 4 hour price action and see what this is telling us. We already looked at the higher targets up there, and like I said, excuse me, I'm looking at, if we're to break down out of this wedge, you know, like I said, we'll probably be looking at support around this $79 to $7,800 range, and if this gives, then we're looking, you know, down to these lower targets. 7,100. 66 is the worst case scenario in my opinion, but I don't believe we're ready for that yet. And if we take a look at where we're at right now, just like in Litecoin, I have this little bull flag drawn here, and if you guys are charting along, definitely draw this in here. This is on the 4 hour chart, and there's a measured move of the flagpole right here. And if we put it up to the top, that gets us to, and I'm going to put a target there too. We're going to need to watch this area close. We're probably going to shoot up there pretty soon. It's the $8,800. Actually, I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. Yeah, we're going to be around the $8,800 range, guys, which also I want to show you. Oh, it's thunder and lightning out. But also I want to show you, we were looking at this as a well, sorry the chart's so messy, but I try to keep this in here so everybody that's watching can understand where we're at. But using this top, the wider white line, and then this thinner white line in the middle is this rising wedge that we were watching that we've broken out of. And this, you know, I drew another rising wedge in here with this bottom line, but I'm still watching this. If we can break back in here, you know, then we're looking at these higher targets. But that 8,800 is going to be testing the bottom of that wedge that we broke out of. And the measured move of the breakout of that wedge is what got me this $6,600 range from where we broke out there. So it is possible that we're going down, but like I said, I don't think it's ready to correct yet. And I'll explain why in the end of the video. But anyways, we had that rising wedge there. And then yesterday I drew this trend line in, and it looks like a bigger rising wedge, which, you know, makes a lot of sense to me. So like I said, my immediate target, or more immediate target, more near future target, 9,600. I really strongly believe that we're going to test that, at least test that, and possibly continue higher. But like I said, keep an eye on these. Do want to look at this bigger wedge. If we do get rejected on the smaller trend line in here, which was the older rising wedge, and we come back down, I don't know if you guys are familiar with fractals, but if you take a close look here, it almost looks like some fractals forming, and I'll kind of draw them out. But if you look here, see how this had two peaks, and then obviously the drop, the big wick, back up. Then we come up here, two peaks, drop, wick, back up. Right here, two peaks, big wick, back up. So we probably could be coming up to this area again, the $9,200 range. And I believe if we get up there, break this high of, what was it, 9,100, get up to the 9,200, you know, this thing could still be going parabolic, guys. If you take a look at it in the bigger picture, this thing looks so strong. I know everybody's been calling for a correction since like 4,200. I mean, give it up and you know, try to figure out what's really going on instead of just saying NVT says it's supposed to correct. It's been saying that since freaking like $3,800, man. People have been paranoid about it. There's something different going on here, and if people can't see it, you know, sucks to be you. We're headed up, man. I don't know how else to tell you. I could be wrong, but and we're gonna take a look now at this Bitcoin daily chart versus the gold weekly chart. Now keep an eye on this yellow line here, guys. That's my target for the end of the year. I know it's bold, but 46,000, that's, you know, and that's not to say we don't go higher than that, but I'm still sticking to that as my target, guys. Also, if you take a look over here, this is Bitcoin. This is the bull run to 20,000. And from each peak, I drew a trend line to where we broke down at 6,000. Then when we zoom in here in a little bit, you'll see that each one of these trend lines was resistance, and then once we broke above it, became support. That's important. So you know, keep that in your mind. Now let's look at the gold weekly chart and look at the similarities there, guys. It's amazing. And that's why I believe in patterns, and I believe in human emotion makes the charts. And I know people say, you know, manipulation, blah, blah, blah. That's all built in. That's all. The manipulation's an emotion. Everything's built into the charts. Show me the charts. I'll tell you the news. Right here in 2003, the gold ETF was approved. And look what happened to gold. People say that it isn't going to affect Bitcoin. I call bluff on that. You can see what happened to gold. Also, the hyperwave theory, obviously, it's bullshit. I think it's clickbait, guys. Now they're coming out with some other guy that they got on there with some other trading crap. I don't know. It's just a bunch of scams, man. Something I want to get off my chest real quick about the hyperwave shit. And if he was so great, had this great, you know, investing firm, blah, blah, blah. What the hell are you doing on YouTube, man? Period. He's trying to use clickbait to get people to watch YouTube. I don't know. I'm done with that rant. I'm I'm sick of seeing people get ripped off. They sell freaking courses. They were charging Bitcoin when they were saying it was going down to $1,000. Why wouldn't they have been charging cash and waiting for that $1,000 Bitcoin? Because they were bullshitting everybody. Wake up. Anyways, as you can see how gold bottomed out here, this just like Bitcoin. I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see it. This is touched the bottom of this bottom trend line twice, and then obviously, you know, never looked back, went up from there, breaking through these trend or these these trend lines. So looking at Bitcoin, I'm going to zoom in. Same thing. If you look at Bitcoin's bottom trend line, they had 2 touches and shot up. And each time we hit one of these trend lines that I drew from each peak to the breakdown, you know, it was resistance, resistance became support, resistance became support, resistance, resistance became support, resistance, all the way up. So this correction that everybody's talking about, okay, guys? Excuse me. So if we were to correct from right where we're at, and they're calling for 30 to 40%, some of them 60% correction, you know, they're looking at this 4,200 range. I don't think it's going to happen, guys. That's coming all the way back down to almost touch this trend line. I highly doubt that's going to happen. This thing is way too bullish. And like I said, if it is following the same pattern as the gold weekly chart, you've seen what happened to gold. I mean, it's the same pattern, guys. There's more to it, and I might make a video about it sometime, my whole thought on all that stuff, but obviously we don't have time to go through that now. But I am going to, let's look at, if we were to correct from where we had this high at the 9,100 range down to this is the last resistance line I have drawn from the bear market, guys. And I don't believe this line is going to break. So I don't believe we're going to see below, let's say if we went straight down from here, that's at 6,600. I'm going to be bold and say I don't see us going below 6,600. If you're waiting to get a cheaper Bitcoin than 6,600, I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again. I think your ass out, man. I don't see it happening. I see this trend line holding. I'm very confident in that. But if we were to correct from that 91 and come back down and test this trend line here, that's 27%. So, you know, guys, that would be enough to continue up from there. And if you look at where we're at, we're right around here in the gold, and I put that on the thumbnail. I'm going to zoom back in a little bit just so you can see the resemblance there. But yeah, if you look, we're right in. It's making it, maybe no, this is up too high. We're right in this area, guys. We're getting ready for a huge blast up. And I think when we pass 10K, that's what's going to cause that. Everybody's going to FOMO in. It's going to be crazy. I don't know. It's going to be an amazing year, guys. In my opinion, it is going to be absolutely amazing. But if we go up to the 96 and correct from there, that would be if we came down to the 6,600 area, that's going to be a 30% correction. We go up to the 10.6, which was my next target up. That's going to be a 37% correction. If we get up to 11.6, guys, I don't think we're correcting to no 6,600. That's a 43% correction. Possible, highly doubt it. But like I said, as of now, where we're at now, I don't see us going below 6,600 ever again, guys. Could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to admit it. But I'm just telling you how I feel about it and what I'm seeing in the charts. I really believe that we have seen, obviously have seen the bottom, but I don't think we're going below 6,600 again. I did buy down here, and you can check my video in December when I was telling people the bottom was in. And I bought some more up in right in the $3,700 and $3,800 range. So those are my physical Bitcoins. I do trade leverage, low leverage. I'm not a gambler, crazy gambler. And I do want to remind you guys, if you guys are trading and learning to trade, don't pay the paid groups, the guys that are on there trying to make you fear the market and stuff. It's not that difficult. All you got to do is put in the time and the effort. Don't get ripped off by these guys. All you're doing is you're paying for their gambling habits and their lavish lifestyles. quit doing that, guys. It's they don't care about you. They're not trying to help you. They're just trying to get your money, and they could give a shit less if you win or lose. You know, so all the information's out there free, man. Just surf around on the internet and put it together. You know, that's all I did. I watched a bunch of stuff. I started out with Elliott Wave, did some Wyckoff, plenty of other stuff. You know, learned my trend lines, support and resistance, and Fibonacci. My EMAs, and that's another thing. I want to look at the EMAs real quick and see what it's looking like on the 1 hour chart on Bitcoin. My EMAs are, I get a lot out of them, guys. So it's looking like it wants to fall, but like I said, I believe this will hold here. If not, you know, then we're going down, looking like towards the possibly as low as 8,100, but this 55 EMA here, or this 200 EMA on the 4 hour, is around the $8,400 range. So, you know, we could see a dip down there and then continue up. But anyways, yeah, the EMAs are still looking pretty good. Let's go into the 15-minute and see if they're turning up in that or they're crossing down. They are crossing down. Let's see. And we got a candle to open under it and close. Yeah, we could have some more downward movement here, but like I said, I wouldn't get too, put a trend line here. Wouldn't get too worried. I don't believe we're, you know, gonna have a huge correction right now anyway, but yeah, this may get down to 84.80 range and then get a bounce from there. Look at the RSI. Let's go into the 1 hour RSI real quick. Sorry guys, I got thrown off track. I just seen it was moving, so I wanted to jump over here. And yeah, getting a little bit of hidden bullish divergence here. This is going up. This is kind of sideways. We might get this drop down and getting more hidden bullish divergence. Regardless, we're going up from here, guys, in my opinion. I don't see a huge correction yet. And I gave you my targets for the correction, and I'm going to stand by that. I believe we have a good possibility hitting 46,000 by the end of the year, and I don't think we'll see under 6,600 ever again. And the higher we go, the higher that bottom or the correction number is going to go. So hope y'all enjoyed the video, and if you did, definitely consider subscribing to the channel. Tick the notification bell. It'll get you notified when I post new videos. Smash those likes, guys. All you have to do is click that Crypto Savvy logo above my head right there. That'll get you subscribed. But smash the likes. Leave your comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know if you could think of anything that would improve the channel. I'd appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.